central bank digital currency, CBDC, is a form of electronic money issued by the Bank of England. Why should you be worried about CBDCs? Well, CBDCs will eliminate your ability to transact anonymously, giving complete traceability and transparency to the Bank of England and government.
For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that.
Eventually, there will be no option to hold physical cash in a CBDC economy. You will be unable to withdraw your money and hold it physically. You may think this is already the case using chip and PIN and touchless payments, and you may also enjoy the conveniences that these technologies offer. But CBDCs are different. They can be made programmable, enabling several worrying properties to be implemented. CBDCs would enable a currency expiration policy. Your money could be programmed so that if you don't spend a certain amount within a certain time frame, it'll expire or attain a negative interest rate. This will limit your ability to save. China has already tested expiry policies with its own central bank digital currency. CBDCs would also lead to commercial banks having a diminished role. It's likely lending decisions will be made by the Bank of England or government, thus giving them complete control over you and your money. Programmability could also mean your money is switched off. For example, say if you were to express a political opinion on social media which was considered offensive or extremist, your money could be switched off, or you could be fined via your digital wallet, which will come as an application installed on your mobile phone. Your opinions could render you penniless. Well, who deems what is offensive and what isn't? Want a mortgage or a business loan? They will need to check if you have been adhering to the current political dogma. Well, is it offensive to only accept there are 2 genders and not 68? Is it extremist to disagree with lockdowns or mandatory vaccines and bodily autonomy? Is it extremist to oppose military intervention in other countries and protest against it? Is it deemed offensive and extremist to question your child's school curriculum? I think it's clear to see that central bank digital currencies could certainly have an infringement upon your freedom of speech and your ability to exercise it. Another form of control is over how you spend. If you have a particular diet that isn't deemed appropriate by the government, your choice can be taken away from you. If in their opinion you've eaten too much meat or your carbon footprint is deemed too large, you could be blocked from making a purchase and steered into buying an alternative, perhaps a genetically modified meat-free version, or one made from insects. Your ability to travel could also be affected. Try filling up your car or recharging it if the government feel your travel isn't essential, or if once again your carbon footprint is too large, or if you've exceeded the 2 trips you're permitted to have from your 15-minute city. If you don't know what a 15-minute city is, I'd advise you to go and do some research into it. CBDCs also give the Bank of England and government the power to implement policy via stimulus tools, which can increase or decrease the spending velocity of money and might not necessarily be equally applied to everyone. The data gathered on your individual spending, saving and investing habits, coupled with the digital identification infrastructure, will mean the bank and the government will have enough information to tailor its monetary policy to individuals and groups. For example, if it's known that lower earners have a higher propensity to consume, money can be directly delivered to those people. Worse, while the Bank of England is labelled independent, personalised monetary policy could become politicised. A government could segment its voters, identify communities where it's behind in the polls and deliver money to these groups, thus blackmailing them. This could create further divisions within our society between class, race, religion and sex. This could also lead to a form of dictatorship. It may sound far-fetched and hyperbole, but the recent behaviour by our government and other governments across the globe should have you worried about the direction we're heading to. It should be clear to see how CBDCs can be used to control you. It won't just be your government doing this. Corporate stakeholders, through the lobbying of our governments, unelected bureaucrats, members of the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization, will also have a form of control.
But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, is that we penetrate the cabinets.
Your money should be your own. Your autonomy is your individuality, and your democracy is a right. And your freedom, well, that's priceless. So don't give it up for the sake of convenience. Please.